Okay, good evening and welcome to Just Daf It. Daf Yevamos here. We're learning Yevamos, Daf PBs, number 82. Yesterday we talked about Bittel Barov, um, Kilayim, for example, and Arla, Batal 1 and 200. Um, and we discussed that certain things are not Batal, if they're considered a Davar Chashuv, if they're considered important. Rav Meir says anything which is called Kol Shadarchali Manos, anything. The way we explained it yesterday was that anything which is sometimes counted or exclusively counted makes it chashuv. Like eggs are counted all the time. And the Chum disagree with Rav Meir, and the Chum say that no, there's only six things, or Rekiva says 7 things. Only those 7 things are considered chashuv. Everything else is batal berov or batal. Like Kilayim Batal and Matayim Batal, or the Batal Matayim and Shuma Batal Mea Batal in 1 to 100 ratio. So Rish Lakish was forced to say that this brisa, which discussed Rav Meir and the Chum, is talking about only Truma D'Rabbanan, which even though technically shouldn't be Batal on a Doraisa level, according to Rav Meir, Midrabbanan should be Batal. Now, it's kind of hard to understand this Gemara because Rish Lakish and Rabbi Yochanan are dealing with the Shita of Meir, and we don't really pass like Rabbi Meir. They'll come and say everything's batel. Forget darkly manos, say darkly manos. Why are Rish Lakish and Rabbi Yochanan having a machlokas about darkly manos, saying darkly manos? It's not the halacha. And also, we really haven't defined the case of the machlokas. It's something called tilton or taltan. What is taltan? Arshkel says fenugreek, but because I am proficient in Derech Eretz also, I guess I'm not so proficient. I had to look it up on Google, but now I'm proficient. I looked it up on Google. Talton, if you translate that into English, the Google translation is going to give you a clover, 3-leaf clover, 4-leaf clover, shamrock. A shamrock is a 3-leaf clover. I believe the Boston Celtics also 3-leaf clover in their insignia. Shamrock, it's synonymous with Irish culture. St. Patrick's, I mean, it's some of the Irish refer to the 3-leaf clover as representing the Trinity, Christianity. Is this included in the Gemara? Because we're talking about clovers, 3-leaf clovers, 4-leaf clovers. Everyone agrees 4-leaf clovers is a good luck sign. 3-leaf clovers only have significance if you believe in Christianity. A shamrock, if you believe in Christianity. Most clovers are 3-leaf clovers. A certain type of clover, the shamrock, which has, I believe, each leaf of the clover is like a double hump. Look it up. You'll see it's all there. So now that I have this nugget of knowledge that tilton is a clover, and we're talking about Rabbi Yochanan, darkly ones, darkly ones, I'm not reluctant. I'm eager to suggest that they're arguing about whether we're talking about a 3-leaf clover or a 4-leaf clover. What is tilton? What is the 3-leaf clover, the 4-leaf clover? And based on that, we are going to get into that. We discussed it briefly during the main shir because it is relevant to the main shir, and more in Ian with Ben Sion, we're going to discuss this, how it relates to the Gemara, because there's a lot of problems, as I mentioned, with this. First of all, we don't pass like the Chum, and we don't pass like Rav Meir. Rabbi Yochanan is arguing Rav Meir. Let's pick it up from the bottom. We asked a question from a brisa. We talked about pieces of chatas meat and pieces of lechem upon him. The Reisha talks about where it was the piece of meat, the rib steak was that came from the chatas was tameh. And Sefer talks about where it was torj, it was kachim, it got mixed with chulin. And the Reisha is talking about where tameh, they're both kachim, but tameh got mixed with tor. So we said the brisa makes sense according to Rabbi Yochanan. According to Rish Lakish, it doesn't really make sense because, as we explained, meat and bread is not something which is exclusively counted. So there's a lot of problems. Why the Gemara assume we're going to Rav Meir? I mean, this is the Chum. The Chum argued in Rav Meir, so this is the Chum, and why should we assume it's Rav Meir? But let's keep it right now. The way we explained it is that basically we'll say the Chum here is Rav Meir. So the Gemara has a question according to the Reisha. The Reisha says lo sala. It doesn't It's not batel. According to Reish Lakish, who says kol shadar cholimanos, Meir had kol shadar cholimanos, meaning it has to be exclusively counted uh, to not be batel. This is not exclusively counted. Sometimes meat is counted, sometimes not. Meat is not counted. So why, according to the Chum, lo sala? Why is it lo sala? So we answer that we're talking about Rav Chia Breidu Rav Huna, the second to last line, B'nei Mucha, the last line here, Pei Aleph and Beis. It's talking about where it's dissolved, it's liquefied. If it's liquefied, everyone agrees there's no significance anymore to a piece of meat or a piece of bread. It's liquefied. It's a gel. It's liquid. It loses its significance according to everybody. So therefore, it's for sure batel barov. So we'll pick up with that. Ihachi, my time with Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda argues in the Brisa. He says in the first case, Rabbi Yehuda Omer. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, the Rabbanan say it is tal, it is batel. Rabbi Yehuda says lo sal. He says not batel. Why is it not batel according to Rabbi Yehuda? We're dealing with Reish Lakish over here. The Chum again say that it is batel. It is batel. According to Rabbi Yochanan, that makes sense. It's batel because it's not something which is exclusively counted. So it's batel. According to Reish Lakish, sometimes it's counted. It shouldn't be batel. Why is it batel when the Chum? They say it's nemucha. It's liquefied. According to Meir, though, why is it not batel? It's liquefied. My time with the Yehuda. So the answer is pay Beis Malach on the top. Yehuda all the time made Amar min b'mino lo batel. Rabbi Yehuda has a unique shita that anything min b'mino. Here again, we're talking about two pieces of rib steak, right? And both the reish and the seifa. That's min b'mino. Basar b'chalav or min b'sheino mino, right? You're talking about milk and meat. Here we're talking about two same pieces of meat. So min b'mino, he has a concept. He has the svara. Min b'mino was never batel, even liquefied. So therefore, even though it's liquefied, normally should batel barov. It's not batel barov. So the Gemara says, "Avaloni muach mai." If it's not liquefied mai, what would be lo sal? So back to the Rabbanan in the Brisa, they only say it's batel because nimuch, according to Reish Lakish, is liquefied. But if it wasn't liquefied, it wouldn't be batel. Antani aval chatika shalatas tahora. What the Sefer says, chatika shalatas tahora, shnizar v'mei chatika shchulin tahoros lo sala. Right, the Sefer talks about a case where it's not batel because we're talking about chulin meat got mixed up with kodesh meat. We explain that it's not batel according to Rabbi Yochanan because it's not hefsed meruba. It also bothered me, that explanation, because it's mutter for the kohanim, so it's not a hefsed meruba. It's a hefsed muat, so it's not batel. I didn't understand that. We have to explain this to you and see it a little better because a lot of things didn't make sense to me. Why don't you just make a distinction in the Brisa between whether, and the Reish is talking about where it was liquefied. The Sefer you're talking about, okay, why do you have to switch it to a case where we're dealing with chulin meat? Even if it's all kodesh meat, if it's not liquefied, it won't be batel according to Reish Lakish. So the Gemara says, Torah's adiflei. Now, even according to Reish Lakish, the chiddush it's true that it could have said that, but the chiddush of Torah's is a bigger chiddush. I'll have to explain why. So therefore, it felt the necessity to say that case in the Sefer, to say that that's not batel. Reish Lakish, Maishna Reisha, Maishna Sefer. According to Reish Lakish, who've been dealing with now, so the Reisha is not batel, it's batel because it's nimuach. The Sefer, if it's nimuach in the Sefer, why is it not batel? Right? I didn't say that. It's talking about also, it must be talking where it's liquefied. Amar Rav Shish Breider Ravidi Reisha B'tumas Mashkin the Rabbanan Sefer D'Oraisa. The Reisha is only talking about when it says tamei, the meat is tamei. It's talking about where it was tamei a tuma d'Rabbanan. So tamei a tuma d'Rabbanan. So therefore, it's batel when it's liquefied. But if it's batel D'Oraisa, when it's D'Oraisa, obviously we're not talking about tuma. There's no tuma in the Sefer. The Sefer is talking about a case where the chaticha of chatas is tahora, just mixed up with chulin. We're dealing with an iser d'oraisa over there, and then an iser d'oraisa. The reisha is only meaning by kohanim, and the tuma d'rabbanan, so therefore they're a makel over there. By a tuma d'oraisa, they were more machmir. The Sefer is talking about d'oraisa and iser d'oraisa. We're talking possibly a non-kohen eating kodesh, which is an iser d'oraisa. So therefore, they made a chumrah and they said it's not batel. So the Gemara says, "Tuma sheretz mai." But if you say the reisha, in the case of the reisha where it was actually tuma d'oraisa, it got contact from a sheretz, which would make it a tuma d'oraisa, mai lo sali, you would say that it's not batel. Altani seifa v'chaticha shechatas tahora shtidar v'mei chaticha shekolin tahoros lo sali niflag l'istibedida. Medra Murim, Tumas Mashkin, Tumas Sheretz. Why don't we say we're talking about Tuma? Right? Why don't you say the Reish is talking about Tuma Derabban? And say we're talking about Tuma Deraisa. Why do you have to say we're talking about a case of Chulin and Kodesh? Let's talk about Tuma in both cases. So the Gemara said Torah b'Torah. We'll have to explain this more. It's better. It's bigger chiddush to say Torah b'Torah is considered something which is not batel. Rabba Amar Reisha Isra Lav. Reisha Rabba is a different answer. The Reisha is talking according to Reish Lakish. Reisha Isra Lav. Seifa Isra Kares. The Reisha is talking about Isra Lav, where it's talking about the meat is possibly tamei. So if a Kohen who's Tor eats tamei meat, the question is whether he's going to be chayav a lav. Even if it's vadai tamei and he eats a Kohen's Tor, he only is over on a lav. The Sefer is talking about where we're talking about Kodesh, so it's possible a non-Kohen is going to eat it, and he's chayav kares for eating that, which is kares violation. Therefore, it's not batal. Rabba said somewhere else, when it's coming to an Isra D'Oraisa, so it doesn't matter how severe the Isra D'Oraisa is, it wouldn't make a difference. It's not batal. So you can't make a distinction like that. Kasha. It doesn't need a kasha. You really can't say like that answer. Ravashi Amar Seifa Mishum the heavy lay. Ravashi gives another explanation for Reish Lakish. He says the Seifa, the reason it's not batal, Mishum the heavy lay Darashation material. Called Darashation material. I feel about batal. It's something which is going to be mutter eventually. Right? We're dealing with the Seifa is talking about meat or bread, which is kodesh mixed with chulin. So the kodesh or the meat or the lechem upon them will always have kedusha. Of course, karbonos, it's going to eventually be mutter. The Gemara says, "How did Ravashi bedusi?" Rashi said it was a lie and it was wrong. I don't know if he intentionally lied. Laman, who is it going to be mutter for? Either Kohen, Mishra Shari. If it's for a Kohen, it's already mutter right now, right? It's Torah meat. The Kohen could eat it right now. Yisrael, all the Masr. For Yisrael, Kodesh, Lechem Aponim, or Kodesh meat will never be mutter. It's never going to become mutter. You can't give that answer. Elahadar Rashi Bedusi. Rashi said it was a mistake. So now it's back to Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan worked out. The Brisa worked out. According to Rabbi Yochanan, there was no problem. According to Rabbi Yochanan, the Reish is talking about something which is batel, and the Seifa is not batel. The Reish is talking about something. I'll have to explain more Rabbi Yochanan. Why in the Reisha it's considered batel and the Seifa it's not considered batel, because he bases on this concept of he assumes that et shadar cholimanos. He learned Rameir Shid et shadar cholimanos, something which is sometimes counted, and therefore it is sometimes counted. This chatas mean lechem upon him, so sometimes it's counted. So therefore, in the Reisha, the Rabbanan say. It's batel. It's batel because Eshadar Chalamanos means it's exclusively counted. Here it's not exclusively counted. So it's batel. Say if it's not batel, we explain because the Kohanim, it's much of the Kohanim, therefore the Chum didn't allow you to batel it because you could just sell it for a little lower price and you're not losing so much money. So the Gemara said according to Rabbi Yochanan, he based on that, Savar Chum Bezman Azeh Del Raisa. And therefore, he could learn our Mishnah was talking about Truma Zedel, right? So we have no problem with this Brisa of Chavil Tilson, which is talking about Truma or Kilayim. We have no problem with that because he holds Truma Zedel is Del Raisa. He holds that Tanya Shtei Kupos Achashal Chulun Achashal Truma Vneim Shtei Soim. You had two boxes. One has Chulun in it, produce, and one has Truma produce in it. Vneim Shtei Soim. Achashal Chulun Achashal Truma. You have another two boxes. One is chulin, one is truma. And one fell into one fell into the other. You don't know which one fell into which. Did the truma fall into the truma, or did the truma fall into the chulin, and the chulin fell into the truma? In which case you have a mixture, which both would be aser. So the Gemara says, "Harei mutarim." Both of them are mutter, meaning the truma is considered truma, and the chulin is considered chulin. Shani Omer, truma is truma nafla, chulin is chulin nafla. Amar Reish Lakish, v'hu rabu chulin ala truma. Reish Lakish says not the case. Obviously, is a case where even if they got mixed together, the chulin, the thing they fell into had more chulin than the amount of truma that potentially fell into it. So therefore, it would be batal b'rov. Midorais, even truma is batal midorais. So midrabanan it's not batal. You need 1 to 100. Even they're equal amounts. Actually, the suffix. It would be okay. He holds that by Derabanan, you also need Bittul Barov. El Rabbi Yochanan Kasha. According to Rabbi Yochanan, it's a Kasha. According to Reish Lakish, right? Shmuel says Derabanan. So it's Derabanan. So if it's Derabanan, why does he need it to be a rov? Because he holds, like he said, even by Derabanan, you need a rov. But according to Rabbi Yochanan, who holds Shmuel says Doraisa, if you had a rov, so you can batal barov. But if it's not a rov, if it's exactly equal, so therefore it's mechsa al mechsa, so therefore it's a suffix, Doraisa, you should go l'chomra. How could you matir? So the Gemara says Hamani Rabbanan. The Gemara says this brisa, which talks about the chulin falling to the chulin and truma falling to the chula, is the Rabbanan shita. He doesn't hold like the Rabbanan. Top of page Beis Beis. Anadamar Rabbi Yossi. Rabbi Yochanan says I hold like Rabbi Yossi, who holds truma and says the raisa. The Sani was Seder Olam. We learned in Seder Olam. It's a brisa about different generations. Asher Yarshu Asecha v'Yarashta. It's a pasuk in Dvarim. It mentions the word Yerusha twice. Yerusha Rishon v'Shniya Yesh Lahem, meaning that not only when they went out of Mitzrayim, they came to Eretz Yisrael in Yeshua's time, but also in Ezra's time, after Achashverosh, when they came back to Eretz Yisrael, those are both considered Yerusha. Shlish is Ein Lahem. The Yerusha, Moshe Mashiach, have no significance. So therefore, the Yerusha, not just the first Yerusha, but even the second Yerusha has significance. And the second Yerusha, and the third one has no significance. So therefore, we always go after the second one. So the second one, at the time of Ezra, never was nifsach. It never was nispatel. Even after the Churban Bayis Sheni, the truma still has effectiveness. Still, truma is vanazes del raisa. Truma given to the Kohanim is del raisa. Now you can't give it to them now because they're tummy. Can't eat truma betuma. You have to burn it. Anyway, you see it's tummy. I hold it. I'm Rabbi Yochanan. Mantana Seder Olam Rabbi Yossi. Who is the author of Seder Olam? It's Rabbi Yossi. I hold like Rabbi Yossi. So Rabbi Yochanan the Rabbanan Labayin or Rebuya. The Rabbi Yochanan hold by Nisa the Rabbanan. He says this is the rice. By Nisa the Rabbanan, you don't need a robe. Not mikveh. Sheyesh bo arboim sa. So he says that brisa, which says the chulin chulin, the chulin. That's the Rabbanan. That's the Rabbanan who holds Shumazan as the Rabbanan. So is it true that the Rabbanan you don't need a robe? Not mikveh sheyesh bo arboim sa michuvanos. So he had a mikvah that had 40 saw, which is exactly the share you need. Nasan saw and atal saw. He put in a saw mayim shuvim, let's say fruit juice or something like that. They were in a kli, which is possibly rabbanan for mikvah water. But atal saw, and then after he put in a saw of water, he took out another saw. Kosher. It's kosher. It's a kosher. Amar Rabbi Yehuda, because you assume whatever he put in, he took out. Amar Yehuda Rashela, Amar Rav Asmi Yochanan ad rubo. You can't even do this until rove of the mikvah. My lav nishtaya ruba. What does ruba mean? Meaning that it's 40 sauce. You did this with 19 sauce. You had a rove. You were left with a rove. So you see, you need a rove even by derabanan. Mayim shuv is only derabanan. Mar says the low nishkal ruba. You can't take more than a rove. You can go up to 20, but you can't do 21. 20 would be half of it. So therefore, mechsal mechsa. He would say it was okay. But by zema, shiny hacha dikal meimar shiny omer. By truma falling into truma and chulin falling into chulin. In that case, there you don't need a rove. Really, by mikvah you need a rove. But here, there's a possibility of, you can be tola. You can assume one fell into the other. By mikvah, the waters got mixed together. So even though you put in and you took out, you can't definitively say that whatever I put in, I took out those mayim shuvim. You can't say that because water got mixed together. So a little bit of mayim shuvim got mixed in. So you can't say that. So you need a rove over there. Here you don't need a rove. Tanan, back to our Mishnah. Androgynous no say. So this seems to be a proof. Right? We have machlokes in the Mishnah. An androgynous is treated like a male, right? It seems to be an indication of the Mishnah. He's treated like a zachar, like a man. According to Rabbi Yochanan, he said that's Torah's doraisa, and Reish Lakish says no, it's only within Safek. We treat him as a male. All right, based on that, he could eat truma. He could feed his wife. If he marries, he's a Kohen androgynous. He can feed his wife truma. Rabbi Yochanan said even truma doraisa he could feed her. So it's androgynous no say. He can marry a woman. If he can marry a woman, we treat him as a vadai male, right? Because if he's a woman, right, he can't be mekadesh. A woman can't be mekadesh a woman. Tani im nisa. So we'll change no say sounds like chachila. Or he says no, b'diavad im nisa, he's considered married, meaning he needs a get, a suffix, like Rish Lakish. When I ask about no say kasang, it says no say, which sounds like chachila. Utamayich. My aval lo nisa. So Rish Lakish says back to him, what is the end of the mission? Well, nisa, he can't be married An androgynous can't be married by a man. Elamai nisa. What does nisa there mean? Di'evid, right? It means lo nisa. Even with di'evid, it's not considered a marriage, right? We consider him a man. It's not a married. No sanami di'evid. So therefore, it's just like the Seifa is talking with di'evid, the Reish is also talking with di'evid. It's not talking about chachila, which is like a man. It's only misafik. Whereas Amri lo no say l'chachila mashma. The Gemara says you can't say that. No say specific word sounds like l'chachila. Aval lo nisa di'evid nami lo. But the Seifa says lo nisa, was talking about di'evid. It's telling you even with di'evid doesn't work because he's vade a male, like Rabbi Yochanan. Versus the Hamadani Seifa, Lezer Omer androgynous chayv al skila kizachar. An androgynous that he's together with a man, he's chayv skila for sodomy. Michlal the Tanakama Sfuki Misafale. What is Lezer is the end of the Mishnah? So the Tanakama, what did he hold? Obviously, he argues with Lezer. Lezer is saying something new. So obviously, the Tanakama hold like Reish Lakish that he's a Safik Zachar Safik Nekeva. Where it says no, Bein Lamar, a Mishab Pshitale. It's for sure a man. Ika Beinayu. The only difference between them is skila Mishnei Makomos. The question is, he's vade a man. The question is, can he be chayiv for mishkav zachar and from two places? Mar savar chayil and skila Mishnei Makomos. Mar savar kizachar. Rabbi Lezer says he's like chayiv of kizachar, meaning the only way androgynous he's together with another man, he could be chayiv skila if he penetrates the man from the anus. According to the Tanakama, he's actually more machmir. He says even if the androgynous is together with a man and the other man inserts his penis into his woman's part, his vagina, he has both male and a female, not just through the anus but also through the vagina, he could be chayiv. They would both be chayiv skila. It's considered sodomy like that. We'll have to learn why. Why is that? The Gemara later on will talk about exactly the svara of the Tanakama that Mishnei Makomos you chayiv skila for sodomy. That's the machlok because both of them vadai. He's a male. The question is how you chayiv for sodomy. We'll leave that at the end of this is the end of the shir. Stay tuned for Ema Ben Sion. We'll talk more about understanding these complex rules about bittul, not bittul, and really it's centered around tilson, right? This clover, which I just told you about. Etcha darach limanos, kol shedarach limanos. Why do we care about this? It's Rameir Shita. We don't pass like Rameir. We do pass like the Rabbanan, and it does have relevance to the Rabbanan. Stay tuned to hear why.